What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. It's Monday night. We're going to rip some drafts. It's dealer's choice. We saw hopefully you saw the poll and you voted. We're going to rip a Dachshund first just because I need to get some of my entries in before it fills because all the psychos out there filled up the Chihuahua pretty quickly. And I'm not seeing the poll, so that's cool. I don't know where the poll's at. That's annoying. Put it in the chat. We'll have to put it in the chat then. I don't know where the poll went or how to. I'm new to polls over here, so I'm not really sure where the poll went. But put it in the chat what we want to draft. But let's jump into a Dachshund. Like I said, the Chihuahua's full. I only got like 8 entries into that. I meant to fill it, but what are you going to do? Filled in a couple days. It is what it is. I had a busy weekend over here. You have 2 more entries in the Dachshund. I still have my Corgi, so we'll do that at some point before it fills. And then we'll do one of, maybe I can do another poll. Let's get the poll back up. But let's jump into the Dachshund over here. 20-second clock. Jump in if you want to jump in. Waiting on one. Waiting on one. Okay, let's get a poll going. Hopefully I can make that work. Didn't work so well, I guess, when I put it together before the show kicked off. So that's cool. Man, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see if I can get this over here. I want to get a poll going so we can friggin' get a vote going. Who wants to draft what? And we'll draft whatever we want to draft here. Whatever you guys want to draft. That's what we'll do. If I can make it work. Friggin' amateur hour over here. Oh, there's a poll going. Never mind. We're good. We're good. 57% Dachshund. Okay. Well, we'll see where we get. We'll see where we get. What's up to the chat? PPR Tyler, what's happening, man? Appreciate you. I watched the Fantasy Sanctuary show today. It was a good one. Pat Carrain was on with the guys from the Fantasy Sanctuary. Go check that out. There's a lot of good info on there. Happy to hear that my guy, Brashard Smith, is getting the love and attention he deserves. So happy to see that everyone else seems to be coming on or getting on board with the Brashard Smith train. Stephen Hines, what's happening, man? Appreciate you coming in. If you guys are just popping in, hit the like button for me if you don't mind. Helps me, helps the channel, helps me grow, keeps me going. We got Green Bean in the draft here. We got Huron River Rat in the draft. I have one more Dachshund after this. So we'll keep an eye on the poll. Looks like we're gonna get the last Dachshund in here. 50%. Dachshund Sprint, Best Ball Mania, Eliminator. Get your votes in. What do you want to draft next? And that's what we'll do. So let me know. Hope he gets some work. I'm very confident he will get some work personally. I'm going to switch this to all tournaments. My Best Ball overlay, shout out Best Ball overlay. If you want to be using Best Ball overlay, link in the description down below. Promo code OTS gets you $10 off, 25% off your monthly subscription if you choose so. But you should definitely go make a free account regardless of anything. Puka or CMC? I don't think I've picked either in this tournament. I have picked Puka. Okay, let's go CMC. That's right. I got a Puka Drake London. That was nice. In the Dachshund. That feels really good for a time box tournament like this. Dachshund? Am I saying it wrong? I should probably get it right. That's my avatar. My avatar is the Dachshund. Missed the entry. Have a good one, guys. No worries, man. Appreciate you disbanded, initiating the AI sequence over here. So yeah, get your votes in. What do you guys want to draft next? So far, the Dachshund was winning. Dachshund, however the hell you say it. I say Dachshund, and I'm not going to change it because it is what it is. I can't, Tiger can't change its stripes. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's what I'm going to call it. But 50% so far. I do have one more entry left, one more bullet. So we'll do that if that's what wins. Al Boogie, what's up in the house? Appreciate you coming in. Disbanded DFW. I knew you had a weird name, and this is the first time I think you've actually, if you're in this, that you've drafted. You're not in this one, are you? No. I don't see no DFW. Down for, is that a euphemism for something, or what are we talking about here? Who do I want to go with here? Let's go JT. Let's do the Christian McCaffrey JT. I don't really like these receivers here. I don't really like AJ Brown and Ladd McConkey. Really not into either one at cost personally. So somewhat of a soft fade there for me. And in these not necessarily time box tournaments, but more limited entry tournaments, I'm not trying to like get different particularly. I would maybe in the middle rounds, but not at the top where I want to be confident about my selections. I'm not going to get too different. And maybe if I would, it would be like $100 tournament where I can potentially like get that back if I'm wrong, sort of thing. So yeah, with these 4 max, 5 max, what's this one? 4 max. Like I'm going to get my guys. And if I haven't picked Jonathan Taylor yet, he's one of my guys. I'm going to get him here. I like doing this CMC Jonathan Taylor start. They play each other week 16. I've talked about it before. I've talked about it on other channels. It's just a start that I like to do. And then I can click away from running back for the foreseeable future. Jason Calhoun, what's up? Good luck in this one, boys. Good luck to you too, sir. Big dog next. We beat Flock. I'm not going to do a big dog on stream, probably. I'm not going to do a big dog at all. To be honest, I don't like that structure, being only 2 of 12. If I had a larger bankroll, then sure. But if I play like a $250, $200, $100, stuff like that, I'm not sure I'm getting up to the $500 entries. Not this year, anyways. Maybe next year if we win something or bink something. But I would prefer to be at like 3 of 12, 4 of 12 advance. But we'll see. Down for whatever. That's what it is. That's what I figured. Down for something. There you go. Next draft. We'll get the votes in. And that's what we'll do. Looks like Dachshund is going to win 55%. I do have one more bullet. Not a lot to draft right now, to be honest. Like I think everybody knows that, and it's a pretty common, talking point on Twitter constantly. About having $5, $3 tournaments live all the time, blah, blah, blah. Like, guys, there's lots to draft. If there's not something for you to draft, like I get the price point conversation, but like there's lots of stuff to draft out there. Man, Jason Calhoun getting Tyreek Hill at 30 is really nice right now. He's like blown up the draft since pretty much literally since not saying I'm the one that moved the needle over here, but since I was saying like I'm going to be taking him every single pick, he's kind of flown up the board. I'm going to take Trey McBride, take the dip on Trey, and then just lock in a 2 tight end type of build. That feels nice. But yeah, he's just flown up the board realistically. RM covers feeling good about the Dachshund. Sounds like when puppy man. Again, there's stuff to draft. Like there will be tournaments that come out. There's stuff to draft. Like if you don't like, I mean, I get it, the price point thing, but like the eliminators there, I like the sprint. I'm still trying to be right at fill rate with Best Ball Mania, which I'm pretty much, right on. I think I've done 47, I believe, and it's about 33% filled roughly. So I'm pretty much right on fill rate with Best Ball Mania, which is kind of where I want to be. So yeah, I'd like I wouldn't mind another tournament to come out, but I don't want to do anything else with volume particularly. I like these 20 max, the Chihuahua filled way too fast, obviously, but I do think that there is a puppy coming soon with training camp, opening. Typically that's a great time to drop a tournament. Buzz gets buzzing, right? So I would imagine the puppy 2 probably comes out, if not this coming weekend, early next week would be my guess. but we'll see how that goes. JT, what's up, man? Being my first year here, I'm kind of like kid in a candy store. Yeah, there's lots to draft, in my opinion. I'm trying to get my numbers up on the sprints, the even a little bit of weekly winners, my eliminators. Like I said, I want to have like 25 weekly winners probably. Let's take a little bit of a dip on Jaden Daniels here. It's gonna feel nice to get Jaden Daniels when I have this. I like to do it this way. I know I'm going to fall behind at wide receiver, and the wide receiver bros are going to come after me, but I really don't care. It feels good to be able to stop at 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends when I'm doing like a power running back type of a room or dual RB. I don't know what the acronyms are, what we're calling these builds, but it feels good to be able to stop at 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends, and then probably 5 running backs. So this looks like a 2-5-9-2 already. So I can throw volume at my wide receiver room, and I feel confident in my ability to fill out my wide receiver room and have it look reasonable. And you got to do stuff like this. I always say this too. I've gotten away from talking about strategies and whatnot for a little bit. But just because it's dead season, there's not a lot of news. But you have to build differently. You have to, not necessarily in these 4-max type of tournaments, but when the value falls to you, like I'm happy to take it. But you do have to build differently in obviously puppies, Best Ball Mania, things like that. You have to get different. So you kind of like, to me, it's kind of good reps. Like it's good reps in this. It's $8. I guess that's a couple bucks, but it's not like it's like a $3 schnauzer or whatever, but it's not a $25 Best Ball Mania either. So I'm getting a quality build rep in what would still be a very, very likely to advanced type of structure and team. So I'm already, in my opinion, I think that this team is in a good spot to advance. Obviously, these 4 have to stay healthy, kind of regardless of what my wide receiver room looks like. So, I mean, maybe that's just my opinion and I'm on an island on that one, but yeah, strong running back room, strong quarterback room, strong tight end room lead to advancing. Not necessarily great for winning tournaments, which is definitely what I'm going for, but again, you got to get some reps and make yourself uncomfortable somewhat on purpose. And I do want to pay attention to what players I've gotten and not gotten in this 4-max structure to make sure that I'm getting my guys. So let's go Rome Odunze here. It's Rome Odunze over Travis Hunter for sure. I mean, Kenny Walker's a great click, but I just really need to get some wide receivers. If I did take Kenny Walker, then more often than not, I'm gonna do well in my flex spot with a running back, but we need some wide receiver help. Putt Daddy, what's up, man? How you doing? Putt Daddy likes the smaller tournaments, me as well. Been doing some crazy stuff in BBMs today. There you go. Time to get different. I built a fun BBM earlier today too, from the 2 spot. Actually, about an hour ago, I drafted it just before I ate dinner. So, yeah, trying to just get my reps in on my BBMs. I'm not trying to forget about it. I want to make sure that I'm doing the same stuff in time boxes for my own drafting in my own portfolio. Right now, where there's not a lot of news, I'm trying to even out some exposures in my Best Ball Mania where, I'm behind. So pick up shares of guys that I know I'm behind on that I like more than my Best Ball Mania shares show. Tyrone Tracy is one of those guys that I want more Tyrone Tracy. I roughly want the same amount Scadaboo Tracy, but I'm way behind on Tracy, and I'm not necessarily ahead on Scadaboo. I just have a bunch more. So try to even it out before we get some news in about a week when rookies, a little less than a week for some teams, more than a week some teams for training camp for when rookies report. Pronounced like Dachshund. Whatever, man. I'm saying Dachshund. I'm saying Dachshund. It is what it is. I don't know what you want from me. This fell into my lap. So let's just do a little Juwan Jennings action here. I think it's just the correct click. Unless I go Olave. Let's take Jennings. Kind of regardless of how I do it, I think that's the correct click. It would either be Olave or Jennings there. Maybe Judy, but I think that makes the most sense. If Debo's there for me at 80, which he does fall to, I will take him. But I don't think pulling Debo Samuel up the board makes a lot of sense. If he falls, great. I'm happy to take Jaden Daniels naked, which I've been doing a lot more of. I'm not forcing Zach Ertz into my lineups anymore. I just don't think, like, he does have value, but I don't think he's got as much value as people kind of think. I don't know. I just don't think it makes sense to force that if you don't need to. Like, I have Trey McBride, so my possibilities are pretty endless for who my number 2 tight end could be. I'm pretty much definitely not going to take a third. So I don't think I have to try to force in Zach Ertz just to get some correlation with my quarterback, my rushing quarterback, where I don't feel like I need it at all. Same thing with Debo. Like, I really don't think this team needs Debo. If he's there at a discount, absolutely, I'll snap him up. But if he's not, then I'm not going to pull him up any amount of picks. Love him, man. Cody calling what it is, love it or not. There you go. Appreciate that. DQ 105. What's up, man? Think that's the first time I've seen the chat. Appreciate you coming in. Hit that like button for me, guys, if you don't mind. We got 19 people on the YouTube. We got up to 50 people on the Twitter machine. I'm not sure how many people that actually is because you never know on this. But if you're watching on the Twitter machine and you got YouTube, jump over, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you guys helping out. Not sure when we'll get live again. Probably Wednesday is what I would like to do. So probably Wednesday. Like I said, training camps are going to be starting to open soon. 5 days for rookies to report for the Chargers. They're probably first, it sounds like. I didn't take a look at the entire schedule because I didn't have time, but it's about a week. And then once rookies report, few days after, typically 2-3 days after, veterans report. That'll give us some information on if there's anyone holding out. James Cook, maybe. Terry McLaurin still doesn't technically have a deal done, so there could be something there. You never know. So keep your finger on the pulse of that sort of thing once news starts to trickle out, when guys start showing up or not. I guess it's just Matthew Golden here. Just take a little bit of value. Do I have to? I don't think I have to. No, Josh Downs, I don't think I need with Jonathan Taylor. I'm a bit of a Jaden Reed guy over Golden, but let's take Golden here. Let's take Golden. See how that works out for us. Hit the vote. Looks like Dachshund's winning. Dachshund, Dachshund, whatever we're calling it. 62%. If you're just popping in, hit the vote. Whatever you want to draft, that's what we'll do. But it looks like the Dachshund, Duck Sound. Does that work? Sounds like that's going to win. All right, we're catching up at wide receiver. Continuing to catch up at wide receiver. We'll do what we got to do. I don't feel like I have to take either Purdy or Caleb to do this kind of stack, this game stack, week 17 stack. I don't mind doing Golden here with a Dunze. That makes sense. Gives us a little week 16 correlation. Is anybody getting crazy or out of line here? Haven't talked about that yet or looked at it at all. With a lot of badge lists, you see a lot of badge lists in these lower entry, lower dollar entry points type of tournaments. So you see some craziness, like the Chihuahua lobbies were wild. It's a wild time to be alive. This guy might be auto drafting, hard to say. Takes Igbuka, that's absolutely who we wanted. But let's get some steady Eddie Cooper Kupp in here. Or do I just want to take a running back? Let's just take the better player. Let's take Mason. Again, I could throw volume at it. I could maybe stop at 4 running backs if I get another quality running back piece. And then that gets even more interesting. Then I can throw 10 wide receivers at this weak wide receiver room, which I don't even think it's that bad. Rome Odunze is one of my guys for sure this year. Not too huge on Golden, but the potential's there. Juwan Jennings hopefully just provides a consistent higher floor. Everything is 3 quarterback right now. Lower dollar 3 quarterback builds are insane. Everything is. Everybody's doing it right now. It's the new. I'm not. I'm zagging. I'm personally staying. Anytime I can stay away from a 3 quarterback build, I'm doing it. So I personally don't subscribe to that way of thinking. It's great for advanced rate, yes, but it is not that great at all. It's not much of an advantage at all when we're talking about winning tournaments. Like, has it happened? Yeah. Everything has happened as far as winning tournaments. So, everything works, nothing works. What are we saying here? So everybody, that's just the new thing right now. It's the new thing that's happening is everybody's doing 3 quarterback builds. I'm trying to avoid it anytime I can. Any and every time I can avoid doing a 3 quarterback build, I'm doing it. And that's kind of always been my philosophy. Go back, watch shows last year. I was saying the same thing. I'll say the same thing every year. I'm always trying to avoid doing 3 quarterback builds if I can, if it makes sense. So there's my 2 cents on that one. Whoever wins the Dachshund can name it however they want. There you go. That's what I'm saying. If I win it, I'll call it the Cody Woodman special. There you go. It's round 12 and I'm starting to staring at Daniel Jones and Tyler Shuck. Yeah, no, I hear you. Again, it's the new thing. Like, that's why I'm trying to avoid it. I'm going to zig when others are zagging, or zag when others are zigging. There you go. I just don't think it makes sense when you're talking about building extreme upside cases. That's my 2 cents on it. Obviously people can and will disagree with me, and that's fine. But that's just the way that I'm looking at it personally. That's the way I've always looked at it. So maybe I'm surrounded by 2 guys auto drafting. I'm going to just bring in Cooper Kupp here and see what comes back around to me. I think that makes the most sense. I was going to take Cooper Kupp with my last pick, ended up taking Jordan Mason, which makes more sense in my opinion. Still get Kupp 10 picks past ADP. So that works, helps my wide receiver room. We'll see what comes back to us after the wrap here, the wrap around. I got kind of close last year though. Big believer in 2 quarterback builds. I think it's when you force the issue. Yeah. Getting quarterback value can be beneficial. Yeah. I mean, that's where it's not value anymore. Like when you're staring at round 12, like all these guys are gone. They're getting all pulled up the board. 10, 20 picks I've seen of ADP getting yanked up the board. It just doesn't make sense. And the weird thing that I've been seeing lately is exactly what we're seeing right now. The mid-tier guys are falling, and then the back end of the draft, the quarterbacks are rising. So they're meeting each other ADP-wise, which makes 0 sense to me. But that's kind of what I've been seeing. I don't know if I'm on an island on that one and no one else is seeing that, but that's what I've been seeing. So a lot of these mid-tier guys, these, which should be 9th round quarterbacks, are falling to the 10th round. And then the guys that should be going in, say, the 14th, 15th round are going in the 13th, 12th round, like DQ was saying earlier. So I am going to take Caleb here now. And it's Caleb over Brock Purdy, actually, because I have the golden bring back in week 16. I can always get a Chicago piece a little bit down the board. And, I do prefer, if like gun to my head, who has more upside, Cody? To me, it's actually Caleb Williams over Brock Purdy as far as like absolute ceiling is concerned. Do I actually think that Caleb Williams scores more fantasy points than Brock Purdy? Probably not. But like if everything lines up the way it kind of could and should and has been kind of laid out throughout the Bears offseason, gun to my head, who has a higher ceiling? It's Caleb Williams for me. Plus, I've got Rome. I've got the double bring back on the San Francisco side. I've got a golden bring back here. I'm not going to have much for Jaden Daniels. So he's kind of my naked quarterback, my get me there guy. And then my playoff correlation is going to be from the Chicago side, which I kind of really like. And I don't mind this double bring back when it's just like two quality pieces, especially Christian McCaffrey, with the offense that you're bringing back. The way CMC has moved over the last few weeks, you get your CMC JT combo with all kinds of different teams. Yeah, I've been talking about it since literally schedule drop when I had Steve from Fanspeak. Shout out Fanspeak. They were just on before me. I think he's wrapped up for the night. Not sure, but either way, Steve was on earlier. And then I had Billy Jones on, big brain Billy Jones on the show. And that was something that I talked about on the schedule release episode the day the schedule was released, whatever that was, 2 months ago. That was a combo that I was focusing on that I think makes a ton of sense. It gets a little bit different. And they are just so by far like the most prominent pieces in that offense, and they play each other week 16. So, it gets around some of these week 17 chalkier type of starts. But mind you, I thought Nico and Lad McConkey would be a really chalky start. Doesn't seem like it is. So I actually might try to get that a little bit more as we get closer to the start of the season. As Lad McConkey's ADP has kind of fallen, do I like Lad McConkey at that price? Not particularly. But if I can do something different like that and make it make sense, then I think I will, especially if no one else is really doing it for kind of God knows why. I'm not entirely sure why people aren't or wouldn't be doing that, at least some. So that's a combination that I'm going to try to get a few shares of. And the other thing is I don't really love that game. It's a great game environment, obviously being in a dome, but those defenses are two of the best defenses in the entire NFL, the Texans and the Chargers. Chargers had the number one defense last year in the NFL, the number one. I'm not sure everybody knows that. So not necessarily like a game script that I want to focus on personally, especially with a team like the Texans that I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to get out of that offense week in, week out. So, they should be playing for a playoff spot, both of them, or at least playoff positioning. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, I do want to get a couple shares of it because it doesn't seem like people are trying to do it very much. Probably because of the price, which I agree with. But if no one's doing it, then I want to get some shares of it, at least a little bit. So we're going to be done at quarterback and we're going to be done at tight end. That's just how it's going to go. So we're going running back or wide receiver here. And it might get to the point where I take 4 running backs, but probably not. I'll probably feel more comfortable taking 5 at the end of the day because I'm still getting 8. I have a quality start at running back, wide receiver, quality enough that I think I can make it work in a pinch. But we'll see how it kind of plays out and where it finishes up here. Yeah. Agree with the upside for those two. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Yeah, Chargers want to play keep away. Absolutely. Run the ball, play good defense. That's what they want to do. It's pretty obvious. Not sure what this guy's doing. No quarterbacks. Pulls up Adam Thielen, 30 picks. Interesting. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'm going Ray Day here, though. I don't think that's a good enough running back room to stop at 4. So we'll wait till the very end of the draft and pick up a 5th running back. That's for sure. So it's pretty much just wide receiver from here on out. And I don't really have to do anything. I've got my double stack Chicago, double bring back with San Francisco, and then a Matthew Golden bring back in week 16. Do I need a Cleveland piece? Maybe we can find one. We'll see. Not a big deal. Who does Washington play? Giants. I can get a Giants piece pretty easily later in the draft, so I can get some correlation there. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. But yeah, so that's an interesting one, that correlation that's just not happening at the start of drafts. The Puka Drake London is just harder and harder to get, which I like because I have a fair amount of it. That was a very popular start for me. Anytime I could get it, I would make it happen. No secret on this channel, I'm a massive Drake London believer this year. I will probably have more Drake London than anyone in the first 2 rounds, if not CeeDee Lamb, at least close, but it's easier to get London. So it'll probably be London. That's who it is right now. Breece Hall got pulled up. Interesting. And Kyron. I'm not sure that's the sort of stuff that you got to be doing in these types of structures in a 4-max tournament, right? Like, I don't mind playing a little bit of chalk, take the value when you can get it, and just take what the draft room is giving you. But could be wrong on that one. 13th round, where are we at for our we got 14 votes. Looks like the Dachshund, Dachshund, whatever you want to call it. Looks like that's what we're doing with our last bullet there, which is fine. Then we'll be filled up on that guy. I still have my Corgi I've got to do, like I said, but not too worried about that. We'll get that one in the books. Damn, I was really hoping Tillman would fall into our lap there. That would have been just super juicy. Super, super juicy. Let's just go QJ, big Q. No, let's go Leggett. Let's go Xavier Leggett. Pair him up with a little Cooper Kupp Week 17 action. I actually, in a vacuum, I do like Xavier Leggett over Quentin Johnston personally. So I would probably have it ranked that way. So that's probably, the correct click realistically. Just a better schedule all around, in my opinion, potentially a better offense. And then gives us a little bit of correlation too. That's a tiebreaker there that I'll take. I'll take the correlation tiebreaker. Definitely won't be Roshan. Still looking at wide receiver for sure. Could go Wandale for some correlation, I guess, but that's really not necessary in any way, shape, or form. We're throwing 8 wide receivers at this room, so I have 3 more picks in the wide receiver room. Yeah. Whoever comes to us. Not too worried about it. I mean, it would be tough to not just click either Tank or Jalen Warren if they're here, or Jalen Wright, sorry, if they were here. I might just go down that road, but Jack Besh wouldn't be a bad click here either. Pairs up with our Giants click that will inevitably come, most likely. A little bit of a discount, but Tank and Jalen Wright would be nice, actually. I might just take Jalen Wright, even if Besh is still there. Pat Bryant. Let's take Pat Bryant. Kind of went off the board there, but let's take Pat Bryant. I need to get enough shares of him, period, in all tournaments. So let's get a little bit there. I just stopped with an Achane, Bucky, Pollard, Ramondre, 4 running back build, a different BBM build. I don't mind that. I get concerned about Bucky. I do, at his price, at his cost. I don't know. That could be, and it's not like I'm not taking him. Where am I at in all tournaments on Bucky? Let's see. 6.7%. So pretty much at the field. Little under. Obviously, I could do a few more clicks and get that to the 8%, no problem. But that is pretty soft. That is pretty light. Let's see where we're at on BBM once so far out of 47, I believe. So I don't know. Bucky worries me at his price. I was one of the highest volume Bucky drafters last year. I was probably 22, roughly 20 something percent Bucky last year. Massive target for me. I just am a little concerned about a second round price tag on Bucky. I just am. I could just be, I don't really have data science. Like, actually, if you watch the Fantasy Sanctuary show, they were actually talking them up earlier today about all of the, the left wing nerd stuff, which is like, I get it. I do get it. And I am kind of drafting them. Maybe it's just a gut feeling thing. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that one. So I'm not ready to like die on that hill, but I just don't love the price tag for Bucky. I really don't. I really, really don't. Like, I just can't put Bucky Irving right beside Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, even Ashton Genty, even, Breeze Hall. I like quite a bit, especially at cost. But I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't have a firm take, and I'm not ready to die on that hill. But my exposure says that I am kind of soft fading him a little bit. I think it's just Braylon Allen here. Unless there's a wide receiver that smacks me in the mouth because I need to draft them. Let's go Braylon. And then I'm done at running back. So 2 more wide receiver clicks and we'll call this one a draft. But I don't hate the build. I don't hate the four quarterback build. That's a good quality type of, texture for running back team. You could say this one was pretty close. If there's someone better than Jordan Mason in this room, or someone better than Ray Davis, maybe end Jordan Mason, then I could stop at 4. But I like the idea. That's for sure. Get all the Bucks, go Bird. I mean, I'm not going to argue that. I'm really not. Bucks might be the skeleton key. Nice playoff schedule. I mean, hey, the Bucks, I could show you my exposure. The Bucks are one of my most exposed teams, period, for sure. That game, the Miami Bucks week 17, is my most common in week 17. 100%. I can show you that. I definitely agree with the Bucks take. I'm drafting a shitload of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just not particularly Bucky Irving. Like everyone else, I'm fully on board, and not a crazy amount of Mike Evans, if I'm being honest. And those could both be misses in my portfolio. But I was going to take Dammy Brown there, getting some steam right now, but also pairs well with Jonathan Taylor and just my team in general and Braylon Allen. So it would have made some sense to take Dammy Brown there. And that was going to be my click, but that's okay. So let's just take Slayton here. Pairs up with Washington and then the Jordan Mason click as well. I think that fits with my wide receiver room as well. So let's do that. And then we got one more click. Going to be a wide receiver, obviously. I pulled up Bucky to get a little different. I do love the Miami Tampa Bay Week 17 game. Yeah, man. Again, that's my most common Week 17 game stack is Miami Tampa Bay. So that's definitely a big focus for me as well. Again, it's mostly through like Kate Otten is by almost 10% more my most common tight end, or my most drafted, my most exposed tight end. I think he's just a massive value with where he's going. He's still on the board and we're in the 16th round. Like, that is crazy to me that he is like the last tight end that we want. Is improved every single year. Targets have gone up, catches gone up, yards have gone up. Touchdowns have technically kind of gone up, stayed the same last year, but points have gone up every year. He's never been more comfortable in this offense. Yeah, I'm 26.7% Kate Otten. The fact that it's Kate Otten and then Mason Taylor, like a rookie Mason Taylor, 4th round pick or whatever he was, 3rd round pick maybe. What was Mason Taylor? 3rd round pick. No, battling for 3rd round pick. Maybe a 2nd round. I can't remember for Mason Taylor, but regardless, rookie tight end. I'm not. I just think it's crazy that Kate Otten's the last like viable tight end on the board. I think he's an absolute smash. Like we talked about, the playoff schedule, the quarterback, everything. I'm good with Cade Otton. That's for sure. Yeah, Cade Otton all the way, no doubt. He's just a massive value here. Just a smash pick. Like, it's a travesty that I can't just click him here in the 17th, end of the 17th. There he goes. But that's okay. It's definitely a wide receiver with our last pick. That's no question in the world. Doesn't crazy matter. Great pick by Green being there. Taking Rashard Smith. I'm sure he likes him as much as I do. Big Rashard Smith guy over here. It's going to be Keenan Allen or Yoshi Voss. I just think Yoshi Voss is a good click down here. Very good click. If it makes sense for your build. It doesn't necessarily make a crazy amount of sense for this build. Maybe Keenan Allen makes more sense just because he can walk into a lot of wide receiver rooms tomorrow and be the wide receiver 2 on a lot of different teams. So let's do that. Don't hate the team. Definitely not my worst, definitely not my best, but pretty good. Should be a quality squad. I like it a lot. Decent amount of correlation. Works out. Jane Daniels, Caleb Williams. I like that room. Happy to stop at 2. Love it. CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Mason, Ray Davis, Braylon Allen. Definitely happy to stop at 5 running backs. Bye weeks don't overlap, which is nice. Not a big deal, but it's nice that they don't. Roma Dunze, Juwan Jennings. Man, I have one more click here. Is my math just like, am I just dumb? 2592. That makes more sense. You dumb. I guess I can get Andre Yoshivas as well. Counting, eh? Counting's hard. Good luck to me. The bye week math in Jeopardy. Like, can't even do friggin' can't count to 20. So that's good. That's concerning for the Canadian education system, you know? Can't win them all, boys. What do I want to do then? I guess I can get a little funky. I'll take Yoshivas there, I guess. If he's still there. Auto click. Don't really, yeah, I'm taking 9. I don't have to avoid any bye weeks. That's for sure. This is a fun team. It gets funner when I get an extra free click I didn't know I had. Yoshivas, sweet. Don't even have to pick between Keenan Allen or Yoshivas. I get them both. Nice. QB room stays the same. Running back room stays the same. Roma Dunze, Juwan Jennings, Matthew Golden, Cooper Kupp, Xavier Leggett, Pat Bryant, Darius Slayton, Keenan Allen, Andre Yoshivas. I like this. Throw some volume at it. Got some high upside in here. Got some good quality rookie pieces. Some injury contingent upside. I like that. Some quality vets with a high floor, hopefully. Nice. Trey McBride and Colson Loveland. I like this team. Fun one. I think it can do some damage if it gets through. If this gets to week 17 and it's double stack Caleb Williams versus CMC Juwan Jennings, that's going to be a fun week 17. I'll tell you that much. Mason Taylor will fall as soon as it's clear who the Jets wide receiver 2 is. Probably. I still like Mason Taylor as the number 2 option. Like from what we've seen from out of Justin Fields, like he can support 1 wide receiver and 1 tight end, typically, is what he likes to go to. So it's still, even when we get clarity on the wide receiver 2, for me, it's still going to be Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor personally. But we'll see how that goes. Juwan Johnson is a smash 2, brand new 3-year deal, and no Taysom. I like Juwan Johnson a lot as well. Yeah, he's definitely up there on my list for sure. Hard to see a touchdown from the Saints. It is, but they're going to be high volume. They're going to have to be passing a lot. That defense is going to be a gigantic piece of shit. So they're going to have to be passing a lot. So, yeah, give me some of those pieces, the passing pieces. That's tough to take too much Kamara, even though he is one of those passing pieces. But I don't get me wrong, I do want to be at minimum at the field, minimum 8% Kamara, minimum. But we'll see where that kind of shakes out. He's a good chaperone if you take rookie tight ends, that's for sure. Yeah, Juwan Johnson, I think we're talking about. Absolutely agree with that. I'd be shocked if Keelan doesn't end up in Seattle. Been clicking him a good bit lately. Seattle. That'd be a bit surprising to me. Yeah, that'd be a bit surprising to me, I think. I'd be shocked if it was Seattle. I still think my Cincinnati Bengals would be the best possible place for Keenan Allen to land. I would love that. I think that makes a lot of sense. He wants to stay West Coast. Okay. Chargers for however long. I'm sure that's where he lives. Might not exactly have a choice. Like, no chance he goes to the Bengals. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I need big week 17 Atlanta Rams. You and me both, brother. That's probably my second most common. If it hasn't overtaken the Tampa Bay Miami game, actually, I haven't updated my best ball overlay, and I haven't gone through it in a little while, which I'm probably due to do. So maybe I'll do that after the stream tonight, and maybe we'll talk about it on the next stream or something like that. I'm just saying his ADP is tethered to the Fields drafter. True that. Very true. I like to take him when I'm bringing it back with New England as well. If we're talking about Mason Taylor here, I like to bring it back if I have like Drake May, Henderson, and like a Pop Douglas or my guy Kyle Williams. If I have one of those, then I like to bring it back with the tight end, Mason Taylor. So sometimes I do that. Arizona does make a ton of sense. That's actually a team I've been calling for as well for months. That he just walks into the wide receiver 2 role there in the slot as well. And yeah, I've been saying that since the pre-draft. So Arizona is another team that I think makes a lot of sense as well. I do agree with that. I think MVS and Torrey Horton will be fine in Seattle. Clint runs a lot of 2 wide receiver sets. Definitely. He definitely does. I think MVS is going to be doing a lot of wind sprints out there. And sometimes he'll get the ball and catch it for a 50-yard touchdown. Same thing he did last year with the Saints. Atlanta 2, though it would hurt London. Yeah, that makes sense. Like that would make Ray dust. That's for sure. I like Ray McLeod for sure. That would also hurt Mooney. I don't think it would hurt London at all. I think it would hurt Mooney, and it would absolutely destroy Ray McLeod. But I really don't think there's anything out there that could hurt Drake London, honestly, except for an injury, which, let's knock on wood on that one. Keenan in Miami is the best, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, he just does a lot of the same sort of stuff that Waddle would do as well, even Cheetah. And then obviously Malik Washington's there as well. He would help out with the tight end, the Jonnu move, right? So I wouldn't hate that. Keenan to Miami. I wouldn't hate that. It's possible. Cartman, what's up, man? Appreciate you popping in. Let's see what the vote. Yeah, 50% Dachshund, Dachshund, whatever we want to call it. Looks like we're doing that for our final bullet. Let's do a quick, I do want to make sure that I'm getting my exposures. So we're going to talk through this while these teams extract. This may or may not be the most efficient way to go through this and update my best ball overlay, but this is what we're going to do. So I can have the information for my last Dachshund draft. So I'm not drafting the same guy on 3 of my 4 teams. Definitely something I want to avoid. You could also see the Rams push all the chips in and offer Allen like a 1-year, $8 million deal. That would make Tutu the 4th. Let him operate 100% in the slot where he feasts. That'd be all right too. I was calling for like a power slot type of a wide receiver, like a Nick Nash in the draft or as a UDFA with the Rams. I thought that would have made a lot of sense. San Jose State wide receiver, Nick Nash, right? I thought that would have made a lot of sense for a big power type of a slot. And Keenan Allen basically is that. So yeah, I would actually really like that. That does make a lot of sense to me too. So that's another team I think the defense is not in a good place. So my Bengals are going to have to score as many points as humanly possible every single week. Who would help do that? Keenan Allen. Do we need a slot receiver? Yes, we do. Yoshi Voss is not a slot guy. He's never really operated in that fashion. Can he do it? Maybe. Is that his role? No. Does Chase do that a little bit? Yes. But if we had a proper slot receiver in Keenan Allen and a solid vet like that, it's another good veteran voice to bring into your locker room. I think it can make a lot of sense. So, yeah, the Rams, the Bengals, two teams that he can kind of push over the edge. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think Seattle would make any sense for them or him realistically. But you never know. Miami, yeah, they could make some sense. Atlanta could make some sense. Yeah, of the Arizona for sure. Of the teams we've kind of talked about, I think Seattle would make the least amount of sense. Obviously, if he wants to stay West Coast, I get that, but they might not want him. You know what I mean? Like they might not need him, want him, whatever. So we're updated. We're going to jump into our final Dash Hound 20 seconds. We're in right now. Jump in if you want to get in. Waiting on 3, 2, 1. We're going. So I am going to bring up my Dash Hound exposure. Again, I want to make sure that I'm not getting the same players, at least not all of them. We got Fantasy Flock in this one. That's cool. Wonder if he's streaming right now. Doubt it. UCF Jaguar, what's up, man? Appreciate you popping in. If you're in the chat, let me know. Got the Fantasy Flock in. That should be interesting. Right beside us too. All right. Do you not like Burton seeing 21% Yoshi Boss? No, I don't like Burton. I don't. I want to see it. Like he needs to show me something. So I've seen it from Yoshi Voss. 1 in 5 catches in his NFL career is a touchdown. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact. 1 out of every 5 catches he's had in his entire NFL career goes for a touchdown. 10 touchdowns in 2 seasons. Give me Yoshi Voss. He already got the best shape of his career, nod, which is nice. So I just am not ready to bank anything on Jermaine Burton again this year. I did a bunch last year. He was a common click for me last year. He let me down. Red flags all over the place. They haven't necessarily gone anywhere, realistically, those red flags. So, no, I'm 0% Burton, 21% Yoshi Voss. I'm a big Yoshi Voss guy personally. That's why he'll end up in Seattle. Nothing ever makes sense. Fair enough. You're not wrong there. Fair enough. It's a little wild. I would be quite surprised if that's how it went down, though. I really would. This is interesting. I don't want to be 7th here unless this guy takes like Puka Nacua for whatever reason. Takes Barkley. Flock will take Lamb, no question. So I guess I just close my eyes and take, I guess, Neighbors. I think Neighbors is the way to go. Let's just take Puka. Let's take Puka and just hope we get some love. Maybe it should have been McCaffrey there, but I want to do something different. Let's build something a little bit differently. I was thinking about doing Nico and then just do Nico Ladd to get that going, but yeah. What's up, fellas? What's happening? Mr. Mufasa, how you doing? Same man. Same burnt me last year. Yeah. We're not the only ones. That's for sure. UCF Jaguar Flock stream the same draft. All right. He is. They're Flock stream the same draft. He is up. Okay, cool. Doubt he knows who I am. So that's fine. Spilled a little spilly over here. I'm sure he's got more people watching his stream than mine. But good for him. That's fine. Better quality people watching mine. You know what I'm saying? Shout out chat. Now the Rams make the most sense out of everyone. Yeah, I think that I think that's it, man. I really do. I really do. That does make a lot of sense. If he does want to stay West Coast, especially, I think that definitely works. Now I wish I just did something completely different. I wish I went neighbors. As far as my rank, it's Jonathan Taylor. Let's take Brock Bowers. Let's do something a little different. If I went neighbors, then Bowers, that makes more sense. That's what I should have done. But whatever. Flock gets the old Lamb McConkey start. That's pretty fun. If he gets Terry McLaurin, then that's a good one. Good for him. I'm going to get a little bit different on this one as well. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try some different things here. Stuff that I don't typically do, which is Brock Bowers in the second. That's very uncommon of me. Very uncommon of me. I think I only have like 4% Bowers total, so definitely getting a little bit different. I hate being 7. I really hate being 7. Even 8, 9. Like, give me 12. If I'm not one of the first 6 picks, give me 12. Honestly, that's kind of where I want to be. Yeah, because you can do whatever you want to do, kind of thing. You can pull guys up, maybe get some falling value, whatever. Get a little bit unique here and there. But yeah, I just hate being 7, 8, 9, 10. The worst spots for me. People are saying that's the best, which is wild. I'm hearing that a lot, that those are like the best places to be picking is like 7, 8, 9, which I just completely disagree with. I mean, I guess you can just do a similar thing that you do in the first 6 picks and just take whoever's there. You can do the same thing at the back end and just take whoever's left over. But there's also like Brian Thomas, Achan, Derrick Henry's at the back end. I have Drake London as a first round pick. Like there's just, I don't know. I guess you could say that, but I don't know. It's not necessarily the way I'm doing it. I would take Terry McLaurin if I was the fantasy flock right now. He goes Josh Allen. Okay. I'll take McLaurin then. You never know. If Jaden Daniels falls to me, cool. I'll definitely snap pick him. But if he doesn't, I like Terry McLaurin a lot this year. I fully expect a deal to get done. Fully expect a deal to get done. Yeah, DQ says give me 11 or 12. I agree. I hate these middle picks. A lot of people are saying that these are the best though. 7, 8, 9 is the best. I just don't necessarily see it at all. Actually, I don't see it at all. Like, yeah, if Christian McCaffrey's the guy, sure, I guess. Then just take Christian McCaffrey if he's RB1, then yeah, that's the winning spot, you know. Same. Is it pulling guys up or reaching? I mean, what's the difference in a lot of those conversations? I don't mind pulling guys up, like especially early. If it's like 4, 5, 6 picks, 6 is kind of my max. I don't really like to go much higher than that unless I'm very confident that those guys are going to rise. So like Tyreek Hill, I mean, I looking back now, I should have maybe just taken Tyreek right here instead of Brock Bowers. I was just super high on Tyreek early when he was going in the, mid 30s, low 30s, whatever it was. And then that didn't last too long. That's annoying that Jaden Daniels goes to just badgeless wonder out there clicking buttons. Let's do James Cook then. If there's a big tier break for me after Breece Hall, James Cook, big tier break. Fingers crossed there is no sitting out for James Cook. I don't think he will, but if he does, that's definitely going to hurt us. Now it's like I'm an absolute moron for not taking Neighbors here. Paired up with Terry McLaurin, paired up with Brock Bowers. Like, ugh. That was really stupid of me. It's who I wanted to. I was talking about neighbors. It's who I wanted to take. Didn't take them. Here we are. Pretty dumb. Stick to your guns, Cody. Sometimes just do your thing. How she goes. It's how she goes. But we're going to get a little bit unique. We're trying to even out exposures. Not that it matters, but I am picking players that I like. I like Puka. I like Terry McLaurin. I like James Cook. I haven't taken either of these two players in this tournament. And again, James Cook is pretty much just an auto click there, considering there's a massive tier break at running back for me after James Cook between Omarion Hampton there. Big tier break for me. Wouldn't mind getting some correlation put together. Start to put together some correlation here. Pickens goes early. I was just off chance hoping, but there's no way he gets past Fantasy Flock at 54 regardless. So this is never going to happen. Never in the cards. Ridley, I think, can make some sense here. I think it's just Ridley here. Let's do that. Let's do that. And just off chance that we get some falling value there somewhere. A couple guys that I can see being a quality click. I think we're in good shape. Definitely only taking 2 tight ends, so keep some doors open. Wide receiver room looks really good. So again, that keeps some doors open for what we can do. More likely that it's a 3 quarterback build, but not out of the question we stick with 2. It'll depend on who we get. If we got Jane Daniels again, then it would have only been 2 for sure. I don't really like to pick Matt Stafford at all, so that kind of takes that out of the equation for me. The Atlanta side is still open, though, potentially, for the Puka Nacua bring back. If I had any kind of Cincinnati correlation in here, I would certainly be fine with taking Joe Burrow, but I don't. So I don't think that makes tons of sense. Oops. Mind you, 1 of 5, 1 of 6. It's not absolutely imperative. Still not so sure that makes a ton of sense for what we're doing so far. So I don't think I'm going to go down that road. It's Jerry Jeudy falls to us, so I don't mind that. Let's go Jacoby Myers. No, let's go Jeudy. No, let's go Jacoby. Let's go Jacoby Myers. Let's go Jacoby Myers. Let's get a little bit different. Definitely a different build. Pretty much already showing my hand here what I'm doing, which is fine. You guys get it. I don't really think UCF Jaguar is going to snipe me on the obvious Geno Smith. So then it's Giants, Houston. I won't have a Philly bring back. That's just what it is. I'm not gonna take Goddard with Bowers. I don't think that makes sense. I would love to say Stafford is better than any of the Giants quarterbacks. Or I would have to say Stafford is better than any of the Giant quarterbacks. Absolutely. I'm no argument here. That's for damn sure. No argument here whatsoever. But I don't like taking Stafford at all, realistically. Sometimes in 3 quarterback builds I will, but I really don't like to take him too much. You never feel bad about a Puka start. Yeah. I mean, I think Neighbors would have made more sense with what ended up falling to me, like the Terry McLaurin and Brock. If I'm going to take Brock Bowers, then I might as well have Neighbors, So I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Takes Judkins. Really stings. Definitely would have been a Judkins click. I could take Pacheco here. Let's do that. There's a very good possibility that Pacheco's just very undervalued in this range. Yeah, there's a good possibility that that's true. So let's take Pacheco. He's going to give us some other correlation too, which we'll talk about a little bit later down the road. Because we're going to be oddly uncorrelated a little bit, which is fine. It's just this is going to be a different team. It's going to be very different, which is fine. But it should work. And I do want some correlation. So we'll see where that goes. Joe Burrow is the most polarizing pick this year. No question. No question he is. That's no question. He can go around 4, 5, 6, 7. Absolutely. Absolutely. As his ADP continues to fall, which it will, it'll get easier and easier to push him. But people will still do the snipe thing. You know, good value here on Jerry Jeudy for this guy. And then this guy, you know, he did take T and Marv. Okay. So he does have some correlation there. Don't hate it. But definitely the most polarizing. Gino's all yours. I figured you're the only one in the chat that I can tell that's in my chat anyways. So I highly doubt you're taking Gino with Lamar and zero correlation. I'd be pretty surprised. But, you know, that's definitely a way that I'm looking to go. No secret there. Definitely not looking to go TJ Hawkinson. Would have taken Mooney there, but let's go Ibuka. Let's go Jaden Higgins. Yeah, let's go Jaden Higgins. Bit of an odd click, but it does make sense. Trust me. Just trust me, bro. It does make sense. It does make sense. Ibuka would typically be my click there, but I do want to get a little more correlation. Obviously, correlates with Vegas, and then also Chargers, which also correlates with Kansas City. You know, and then Pacheco's paired with Tennessee, you know, Ridley, Chargers, who I inevitably get, and then Higgins with Chargers, Higgins with Vegas. Makes a lot of sense. So we're obviously building kind of around this Vegas stack. We'll definitely get a Giants piece, which also correlates with Terry McLaurin, which is nice. But yeah. I mean, maybe Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason would have been the other click there as well. But I'm pretty happy with Cook and Pacheco. A little bit of risk in that room, though. Don't get me wrong. But let's go down that road and see if we can land this sucker. Almost definitely going to be a 3 quarterback build now. Especially if I know that Gino's going to be one of those clicks. If Gino's in my on my roster, then I'm almost certainly going to have 3 quarterbacks. So what does that make me want to do build-wise? That makes me want to go Justin Fields for sure. I like Tyrone Tracy here a lot. And I don't mind Scattaboo. I don't mind Najee Harris as my Chargers piece. But I really need to get some quarterback points in this team, in this roster. I really need some quarterback points. So let's go there. Really need some quarterback points. So let's take the upside. Let's take the upside with Justin Fields. Kind of has to happen. So we're looking at Justin Fields, most likely Geno Smith, unless I get sniped for no good reason, which would be pretty frustrating. Where was the Garrett Wilson drafter? Maybe sniped on this guy. That's all right. He did have Hurts already with A.J. Brown, so maybe he wanted him. But that's 2 bye week 9, so I guess not. Not that I could have pushed Justin Fields, because that's definitely not the case. Definitely could not have pushed Justin Fields around the corner. But either way, this is a fun team. We're making it work. Falling a little bit behind at running back. Tracy would have been an auto click for me, but that would have been asking for a lot for him to fall back around. So a couple running backs here that make sense. I'm very happy with our wide receiver room, the way it looks, the texture of it. I'm happy with that. Brock Bowers obviously makes any tight end room good or looks good. Running backs falling behind. Fields with two other quarterbacks, I should say, puts me in a pretty good spot. Najee would have been an auto click, but let's bring in, it's Charbonnet or it's Stevenson. I think Charbonnet just gives us a higher ceiling. Maybe that means that Stevenson should have been our click, but I hope I get enough of a floor out of Pacheco and Cook. Get a little bit of correlation with Puka Nacua. Not that really matters. Obviously, Stevenson gave us correlation with Fields. But that was a pretty close. That was very close. That was very, very close. Yeah, that's the right click. Pacheco's league winner. You need the quarterback points. Yeah, definitely needed the quarterback and the quarterback points for sure. I was thinking about Drake May there as well. I think Drake May would have been made a lot of sense for this build, but I can't fall too much farther behind at running back. So Charbonnet or Ramondre made a lot of sense to me. Again, like you just kind of said there, DQ, I'm banking on Pacheco being that guy that's just mispriced in that range of running backs. So let's, I guess, lean in on that take. That's just what it is. Yeah. Not sure that was the correct play or not, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But I'm taking the ceiling there. The higher ceiling is with Charbonnet than it is with Ramondre. So at least that's how I feel about it. Could I be wrong? I guess. Yeah. Definitely I could be wrong. But I don't know. I think that's the correct way to go about this and the correct way to build. What are we going to do here? The Nico drafter has Daniels, but he could easily take CJ Stroud. I think I'm just going to go Stroud here. Just do that. I was thinking maybe Kirk then Stroud, but if I take Kirk and the Nico Collins drafter takes Stroud, I'm going to be really upset. I'm going to be really, really unhappy with that run out. So let's just lock in Stroud here. If for some reason Kirk falls back to us, cool. We'll take him. Did QJ already go? Where is QJ? Harris goes. Oh, there's QJ there. So that's probably the direction I go. Is Quentin Johnston with my next pick? Is it? Maybe. We'll see. Definitely need to get some more, a little more juice in this running back room. I don't even think I need another wide. Kirk goes anyways. Okay. I don't think I need another Houston wide receiver, is what I was just going to say. I don't think I actually even needed. I mean, if Kirk was there, yeah, I click him auto, but I don't think I have to force in another Houston piece here. It's not really my main focus. My main focus is this Vegas stack. So does that mean that I need QJ here? Really doesn't. It really doesn't. I think I take Baishal Tootin here if he's here. Okay. Then is it Benson or White? Let's take Benson. Get the Houston correlation. I kind of prefer White there, but let's take Benson with the correlation. And again, the upside. Like, if there's an injury to James Conner, Benson steps in and he gets all the work. If there's an injury to Bucky Irving, Rachaad White still doesn't get all the work. So that's kind of the difference there for me. And as far as rankings would be concerned, I would have Trey Benson over Rachaad White, not by a crazy amount, but it just depends on your build. If you need a high floor guy, you need some points, you need an adult, you need a chaperone, go ahead and take Rachaad White. I've got a fair amount myself, that's for sure. But if you need some upside, take Trey Benson. That's kind of the way I look at it and the way I've been building. So, and again, correlation's nice. It's just nice. Kind of helps. Tell the story Chiefs RB1 in round 7. What can go wrong? Yeah, that's what can go wrong 3. Yeah, that's kind of the story I am telling. Like, I just have to lean in on that. I have to kind of buy in on that thought process. So let's do it. Let's lean in on it. It's going to be a 3-6-7-2, I think. 3-6-7-2 build. I believe. There's no way Tillman makes it past Flock. There's no way in the world. So I go, ugh. Yikes. I go Palmer because I haven't clicked him yet and I really like him. And it makes sense. It would have been Tyler Algier for sure, but he went a little earlier. Not a chance Flock doesn't take Tillman there. So, okay. That's the click every single time. So that's unfortunate. Twice, that's 2 drafts in a row. Tillman went 1 pick before us where we would have just insta snap clicked him. If you guys are still watching, hit the like button if you haven't clicked it. Would appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Mind you, if you're in the chat, then you have to have hit the subscribe button. So appreciate that. Helps me out. Keeps the channel going. Big concern would be Dr. Goose over here, who only has 1 quarterback. But there's lots of options for him, actually. So if he takes Geno on me, like, that'd be just rude. And then I would take, I don't know. I would take Matt Stafford. So if I had to. Obviously, very much rather not. There goes Tua. All right, we get Geno. We're happy. And we're happy. So that's our correlation. Need a Giants piece. Looks like it'll probably be Slayton is what makes the most sense. Mind you, I would just go Wandale instead. Get a little different. So if Wandale's there, I'll snap click Wandale. Be a little bit of a fall. So that's the direction I would go if he's there. It would definitely be one of these two wide receivers. Helps me out correlation-wise and just makes sense. How many picks do we have? 4? 4 picks left. Need a tight end in here, obviously. I mean, it wouldn't be like the craziest thing just to buy in on a Bowers single tight end. Let's see how this plays out. I really don't need to push anything or force anything or make anything happen. Really doesn't need to happen whatsoever with my tight end room. So we can see what kind of comes to us, what falls to us. I've got a bit of an idea on what I may or may not do. Jalen Knoll, I guess, could make some sense on this team. He would have to fall for me to take him. I'm definitely not pulling him up the board, I'll tell you that much. Shipley really makes some sense here. Takes Wandale. Okay. Shipley makes a lot of sense, but let's take Pop Douglas. Pairs up with our Buffalo, pairs up with our Jets, so that's good. Will Shipley will be the click if he's there. Not the end of the world if he's not. We'll see what kind of shakes out. Might take Tillman versus Deontay. It's Tillman every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Like Deontay's shown that he's a head case and he doesn't necessarily. Deontay thinks he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. That's what he thinks, and that's not a good recipe for a wide receiver, especially one that's in the position that he's in, where he needs to earn everything right now. Yeah, if you're not going into football games because you think you're too good to be in the situations that they're putting you in, it's not good. So I'm not taking any Deontay personally. Yeah, if you want to, if you like him, 18th round, go nuts. But I'm not taking any Deontay Johnson. You just can't act the way you act when you're not as talented as you think you are. So that's how I feel about Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I'll definitely be taking Will Shipley here. If not, I guess I just take Jalen Knoll. No, I gotta be done at wide receiver, I think. All right, Shipley goes. That's fine. DJ Giddens. Every time it's DJ Giddens. If I don't have Jonathan Taylor, chances are pretty high I'm taking DJ Giddens. He's my highest drafted player. Big fan of DJ Giddens this year. Obviously, the majority of it hinges on injury contingency, but pretty decent case there for injury. So I am drafting a lot of Jonathan Taylor too, don't get me wrong. So it's not like I'm fading Jonathan Taylor over here because I'm certainly not. So we're done at wide receiver, kind of have to be, which is fine. I like this wide receiver room. I think that can work. Bowers, and I'll throw someone else in there. Not too worried about it regardless. Probably won't be Schultz, but maybe. I mean, maybe. Didn't end up getting a Giants piece, which is quite annoying, actually. Just didn't work out. I guess I'll lean in on the Fields New England with Pop Douglas and Fields there and just hope that that's enough. But kind of wish I had a Giants bring back. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Wouldn't say this is like the funnest, best team I've ever drafted, but there's some funness. There's some funness to be found on this roster. It's just different, interesting. What are we doing here? Running back, tight end. That's all we got left. It will be Marshawn Lloyd if he's there. She should be, and he is. There goes Schultz. Is that the bring back for some Chargers correlation. That's fine. Schultz was not going to be my pick. Again, I don't particularly care who my second tight end is here. I could go with Conklin. That does make a lot of sense here, actually. Gives me some Houston correlation. Theo Johnson. I'm just not a big Theo Johnson guy, but again, that could make some sense. Aiming to stay healthy, you don't say. Liz Frank is just really concerning for me. Really don't like those Liz Frank injuries for anyone realistically, but ETN had a Liz Frank. Let's just go like that. That's the other guy. Show my hand. Juwan Johnson's the other guy that makes a lot of sense for this roster. I don't like to take the two tight ends. I really don't. I know some people do or they don't care, but I really don't like to do that. Johnson pairs with our Ridley week 17, Jets week 16, obviously. Conklin with Houston week 17. And Pacheco week 15. I think it's Juwan Johnson, though. Let's do that. At the very least, we're getting some week 17 correlation. And he's just the better player, like Juwan Johnson or Theo Johnson or any of these other tight ends. It's Juwan Johnson every time. So that's the squad. The Dachshund is maxed. The Dachshund, whatever the fuck that little mini dog is called, we just maxed the tournament. 3, 6, 7, 2. Different for me. I typically am a 2, 6, 7, 3, but that's okay. That's okay. I like it. Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Geno Smith, James Cook, Isaiah Pacheco, Zach Charbonnet, Trey Benson, DJ Giddens, Marshawn Lloyd, Puka Nacua, Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, Jacoby Myers, Jaden Higgins, Josh Palmer, Demario Douglas, Brock Bowers, and Juwan Johnson. I think it can work. I really do. My biggest concern would be my running back room. There's enough volume in there. There's just a lot of injury contingency, upside type guys. Charbonnet, Benson, Giddens, Lloyd, all the direct handcuff to pretty much all of the work. Like that's something that I like about this type of a running back build. Like I have two guys that there's definitely question marks there too. With James Cook and Pacheco, there's definitely some question marks there. But with Charbonnet, Benson, Giddens, Lloyd, if anything happens to the starting running back in that offense, theoretically, they should get all of that work, all of them. So if I get one injury in this running back room, chances are I'm going to be in pretty good shape as far as running backs are concerned. So I don't mind that. And then I've got the high value picks in the offenses, Rams, McLaurin, Ridley, right? And then a bunch of role playing, high upside type guys. Bowers is obviously in this instance should be tight end 1, hopefully. And then Juwan Johnson, just a fantastic value click at the end of drafts here. So a little bit of correlation. I think it works. I think it makes enough sense. Told enough of a story. I think I would rather have had for sure probably Neighbors instead of Puka. I think makes more sense. So that's unfortunate, but especially with not getting a Giants piece to my Vegas, like that was the mistake, no question. It's not often you make a mistake in the first round, but that's ended up being what it was, and that's what I wanted was Neighbors as well. So that really hurts. That's really frustrating to have that happen, but I did it to myself. Can't really blame anyone but yourself on that one. But we're gonna get out of here. See you next time. Appreciate you, DQ. Thanks for coming out. Stephen Hines, appreciate you. I like the tight end room. The whole team is good enough. I think it works. I think it makes a lot of sense. So tomorrow I have this opening thing to go to. So I don't think I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. Wednesday, we'll try to go live Wednesday, if not Thursday for sure. We're trying to get some streams in and get it going as training camp opens. It's kind of a dead zone right now, but information will start coming out again in the next, week or two. definitely 2, but within the next week, we'll start to get some information that hopefully can, help us finish up our draft season here. So hit that like and subscribe button if you don't mind. Like we always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hopefully tonight we're right. We win the Dachshund, and we'll see you on the next one. Have yourselves a great night.